Hello, everyone. Conversations of KGPians in collaboration with Gopali Youth Welfare Society welcomes Mr. Prerit Jain, a distinguished alum of IIT Kharagpur. Prerit is currently the owner of the Global Tutor Community Building at Wiingy, where he oversees sourcing, hiring, onboarding, and retention strategies to create a strong team of educators. Now, his role focuses on fostering an interactive, personalized learning environment. Now, with experience in data science and artificial intelligence, Prerit has done quite a few internships in this field, with building a strong grasp over these technologies. He has also held leadership roles at IIT Kharagpur, including being the vice president and CEO of the team living in Greater Horizons together at Gopali Youth Welfare Society. Um, Prerit, we are very glad to have you here. It's a very different combo that we get to see someone with such a good grasp over technical skills and also having done so much of social work at IIT. That's a good combination that we get to see, and we really welcome you wholeheartedly.
Thanks, Shivam. I'm also grateful I'm here. I think I'd also like to share my thoughts with you guys. What I think I would have known during my days in IDKGP, and I think, yeah, it's great to talk to you guys. I think it has been a long time I've talked to someone like who is right now in the campus. So that is also a great feeling to have a conversation with someone who is still in the campus, who is still experiencing what we all have gone through. We'll always share that, I guess. That's something
Yeah,
which is a very good thing. Very, you know. People say that college life is something which you will
yeah,
remember forever, and
yeah.
that's actually true. You guys will also realize soon.
I see. That's really nice of you. So, Prerit, the first thing that comes to our mind when we see a KGPN or when two KGPNs meet together, it's actually the hall. Like we always, even in like the KGP itself, whenever we meet someone new, we the first thing that we ask is the hall. So, for our
Exactly.
audience, the first question is definitely like, what was your hall and how was your experience at your hall, Prerit?
Yeah, so my hall was Rajendra Prasad Hall of Residence, RP Hall. It's just as we enter IIT Kharagpur, it's the first hall which appears, right? So a very interesting story. So when you come to IIT, you don't really imagine, right? You will get such kind of rooms because the condition of rooms are okay, like it's not very great. So particularly like when I remember when I was coming to IIT and I was in the bridge and I was looking after the buildings and I was like, यहाँ तो नहीं रहना होगा and then the cab wala they just left me there only because वहां से आरपी हॉल ही दिखता है and our room was also like in that block itself जहाँ सीधा bridge दिखता है जहाँ से so
Got it.
that was really my experience was very nice, initially I guess um, generally all the first year goes to LBS hall first and then they get
Mhm.
distributed in the second year.
Yeah.
But we actually got into RP from the very first year itself. So in our batch, like around 800, 900 people were in LPS, and then some of them were distributed across the older halls. So we were one of the people, like one of the few people who were in already in our older hall. So we were in RP, and like there's a lot of things you learn like from your hall, a lot of things you do for your hall, so there's always a sentiment associated with it.
Okay.
uh, I was actually, I think it's time also, right? A lot of illu and rangoli
Exactly.
preparation must have
I
been
was coming to that
going
actually.
on.
Yes.
I was actually the part of the rangoli team in RP. We used to do so. It's also very interesting. Like we used to do pixelated well thing where in different light sources, the rangoli used to look different. So
Correct.
that was also something which is great. You Some of the things which you learn from your hall is like how, like when you participate in these events, particularly like be it social and cultural, be it sports, or be it technical events, you always get to be a part of a bigger thing than just yourself personally. So let's say if you are going ahead and participating in some sort of hall activity, like maybe in my first year I was part of the hardware modeling team. So we were in research groups. So we were there for hardware modeling, and then also like data analytics, those kind of tech events. I was also part of the badminton team of RP
Yes.
from
Yes.
the very first year. That was also a very great experience. We did win a couple of times in my, I guess in my third and fourth year we did win silver and bronze, I guess. That was also great. Then a lot of tech events I did. So it helps a lot in your personality development, particularly that when you go ahead and participate in all these activities, and with a group of people who are like equally enthusiastic about it, you actually get to learn a lot. And there's also a lot of senior junior interaction which happens in such settings, which actually like which opens up your perspective about what you can do, because your seniors have already been through like what you are going through right now, and they share their stories, that how they have learned what they have learned. And like they also push you to do things sometimes, and that kind of like help you explore your limits. You try to extend them. And primarily like I have been involved in a lot of events, particularly like I was not in the part of management team, like seki वगैरह नहीं था मैं, but
Yes.
I participated in the events. Like I actually represented in a lot of events, RP Hall. And that was a very great experience. I'll also suggest like anyone who is watching, and who like you should participate in these sort of events. Like you can be the part of society as well. That is good. Like that is also good for yourself. But you can also participate in your hall events. That will give you a different sense of bonding with people you spend a lot of time with in your hall, in your wing. And also like you learn a lot from the senior junior interaction which happens during the events which you participate in. And when you win those things and you go for treats and stuff, that's also there. So you enjoy that kind of things as well. So yeah, it has been a great experience, I guess. Uh, Very very good experience, I guess, like being in RP hall during the time of illumination. I remember like uh, हम लोगों के हॉल का लाइट काट देते थे, like in the final 2 days of like when it actually had to happen. And RP was like one of the halls which generally wins, right? So they are very secretive about what they do as well. So they used to like cover the whole hall with, I don't know, are they doing it right now as well? Like,
They
is
do
it
it. They do
covered?
it. The last year they did.
Yeah. Oh, so अभी भी चालू हो गया होगा ना, मतलब I think
हाँ
in
हाँ अभी
10
चल
days
रहा है.
Diwali is done.
Yes, yes, yes.
हाँ, तो वो
Illumination चल
पूरा
रहा
Start
कवर
हो गया.
करके we used
है.
to do. Yeah. मतलब whether you work for it or not, because वो काम तो बहुत पहले से start हो जाता है, but in the
Exactly.
last period वो बहुत ज़्यादा वैसा हो जाता है कि yes, you have to do it. And when it actually you burn all the diyas and you remove all the tables, which there's a pyramid of table which is there. So when you remove all of it and when you just watch at it, it's mesmerizing feeling. So I have never experienced like any better Diwali than like what we have spent. And uh, we were never able to see anybody else's illu, because RP में हमेशा लास्ट में चलता था और हम बाहर निकलते थे तब तक सब कुछ खत्म हो चुका होता था. तो जनरली मैंने बस फोटो देखी है बाकी हॉल की, अपने हॉल का ही हम लोगों ने बस जलते हुए देखा है.
Thank you so much, Prerit. That was quite a mesmerizing like definition of how a life at IIT Kharagpur like looks like. And मतलब जैसे आपने halls के बारे में बताया, I think like you are I think part of one of the most happening halls of KGP, like RP and
Exactly,
like
yeah,
the
I think so.
fan loops. These are all the most of the
Fan
like
loops, yeah.
yeah, exactly. So like we can move on to the next question, Ananya.
Yeah, so as you have also experienced and we are also experiencing that life at IIT Kharagpur is a roller coaster of experiences. So how would have you been describe the campus life during your time? And what are the some of the most memorable moments that you stand out for?
Okay. See, like I think the campus life is something which is kind of one of the very good times of KGP life as well as your whole life. So in your campus, like there is a lot of things to do, right? When you are in a when you're positioned in a IIT, and there are different kind of sports activities you can involve yourself in. There are different societies you can involve yourself in. There are different kind of fests you can involve yourself in, and then there is always like friends. So friends 2.2 with friends, I don't know you guys do that or not, but we used to do it a lot. Like we just walk the 2.2 several times in the night. We just start it at some point in time and we don't know when we will be ending that. So that's also really great feeling. You just keep on roaming around the campus, and campus is so big, right? So in the night as well, like exploring different parts of the campus, just roaming around with friends, tossing out different ideas, and just discussing about random things, and like a lot of things have been there. Primarily, like in my campus life, I'd say that a couple of things which shaped my campus life was one is GYWS. Like GYWS was a very big part of like. Am I audible? Like, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can hear you.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Can,
So
yeah. थोड़ा सा
so
lag हो रहा है
GYWS.
but
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
yeah, very
That's
less.
what I was also thinking.
That
Ki kuch lag.
hmm,
Okay, no worries. So, as I was saying, that GYWS was really a important part of my campus life in IIT KGP, primarily because like it gave me a different kind of exposure, particularly. So, till the time like I don't know like with other people, but when I went to IIT KGP, so I went from Kota. So for a couple of years you don't really do anything and just studies, so you don't really get much exposure on the front of talking to a lot of people, and like working in the field of management, or like working in the field of like helping someone or things like that. So working with a team as well, having that feeling that how you collectively do something and then you all feel great about it. So with GYWS, I guess that is something which I got, and I spent, I guess, 5 years, the whole 5 years of my campus life working for GYWS. Generally, people work for 4 years, but I did continue in the final year as well because I just loved it. So primarily, like initially, I think the first thing which actually, I don't know you guys do it or not. Like there is a annual donation drive which happens
yeah,
which
Yogdan.
GYWS conducts. It's called Yogdan. Yeah.
Yoga.
So yes, that was the first like thing which actually like got me motivated uh, for working for GYWS, because at that point in time, like we were running a school, and there were a lot of things which were going on. When we joined GYWS, the team was also kind of scattered. Like a lot of engagement was not there in GYWS particularly. So there was a huge opportunity for us as well, that we can actually work and build these things out. So particularly Yogdan was the turning point when when I actually got into that. Yes, I want to do this and I really like doing this, because at that point in time when you go ahead and talk to people, you tell them what you're doing, and like they pay or they don't pay, that's not really important. But what happens, right, is when you explain things to them, things get more clear to you, that okay, this is what I am working for. And that is a good feeling when you actually know that whatever you are doing, it will actually help someone who might not be as privileged as we are, studying in the most premium institute of our country. So that was something. And then in second, third year, like I just got into leadership positions at GYWS. I was the UG coordinator in third year, and then I was the vice president in fourth year. And like we did a lot of work, primarily in the team building part of it. So we when I joined, particularly, like there were around a team of 30 people who were working in GYWS. By the time I was the vice president, we were around 100, people. And post that, like when I joined Light in my final year and I led that initiative. So at that point in time, we were also like trying to involve people out of KGP in that program. And at that point in time, also tremendous growth I saw, not just like like in the organization, but also in myself. But particularly, like kind of the exploration which I did with myself during that time, in that what kind of things I can do. See, one thing I'll tell you, like whatever society you are a part of, you get leadership positions there. Even when you go out of your college, right? You'll get into either corporates or something like that. Or if you're going into a big company, getting a leadership position is a 5-10 years journey for you. Like even getting a reportee for yourself is like a, unless you're joining a startup or something where you are like a kind of a founding team member or things like that. Even just to get a reportee or even just to get a team working with you, it will be 4 years, 5 years, 10 years down the line. So when you get these leadership positions, right, rather than thinking of it as like extra work or extracurricular, you should see those things as opportunities to explore yourself as leaders. That like how you can bring in new thought to whatever previous like teams have been doing, whatever your seniors have been doing, be it a research group, be it like let's say it's a fest you are doing, what new you can do, what kind of values you can add. So primarily always see these things as opportunities, because the kind of budget you'll be managing in these areas, right, in your college life, uh, when you get into corporate, you it will take you some time to reach there. And this kind of exploration of um, leadership and ownership is something which you will get right from the campus life itself. So when you get into some society, when you get into even your hall teams, right? Like let's say you are participating in data analytics event, or you are participating in uh, a simple, like let's say choreography event, like choreo, which we used to say, or dramatics event. When you actually get into that ownership space, right, when you are responsible for whatever will be delivered at the end of the day, that ownership, when you take seriously and you do things, always consider that as an opportunity which you are getting because you are privileged. And that's what I saw in GYWS. I knew that like if I want to be a vice president of a NGO which manages a budget of 1 crore rupees, kind of like 1 crore, it's above 1 crore right now, but like that will take some serious effort, like when you will do it outside the comfort of campus, it will take a serious effort for you guys to be there. So if you're getting that opportunity, enjoy that, live that opportunity, try to do things which you feel like you can add value as. But don't always see it as कि कुछ काम है, senior ने बोल दिया है तो कर लो, because that helped me a lot in terms of my personality, where I am, the way I speak, uh, the confidence I got after working there. All those things helped me a lot in. So that's one thing about that. That's more like ज्ञान वाला part for my campus life. Fun तो काफी किया है यार हम लोगों ने, मतलब we used to uh, do night outs. Night out तो करते होगे तुम लोग भी काफी. We used to do night outs, and library में वो exam के time पे पूरे पूरे time library में बैठे रहना. And then like, not even if you are not studying, you just be there at the library, or you go for walks with your friends. And there have been like, there are moments like when like when you break up with someone, when you find a new friend, there's a lot of things you guys will enjoy for the very first time in the campus, and that's a very good feeling. Like, hold on to it, live it when you are there, live it to the fullest. That's what I'll give as a suggestion. Have fun as well, because fun is very important. You'll
Definitely.
like सब पढ़ाई वढ़ाई तो होगी, but have a little bit of fun as well.
Yeah, that was quite a description, Prerit. Thank you so much. Moving on to the next question, Prerit. Like we would like the audience to know that Prerit had a CG of 9.08 uh, in his academic career at IIT Kharagpur. So, Prerit, you have excelled academically and also ventured into the fields of AI and data science by taking additional courses of machine learning. And you also like were exceptionally well in it. We saw like that you have done quite a few like corporate internships in these fields as well. So we all want to know, Prerit, how did you effectively balance your academic commitments with your personal interests in these areas?
Okay, that's a good question, Shivam. I guess academics is something which is important, which you will always. So some people say CG doesn't matter, but what I feel is that you have to have a balance of everything. So my always like my thinking was that I should balance everything. Like like I should not be a guy who do only academics, but I should not be the guy who don't do academics at all. So particularly uh, from the very start, like I used to like I didn't study a lot, but I used to study itna ki I can pass exam. Pass kya matlab, I can get good marks in exam. Primarily matlab uh, काइंड ऑफ एकेडमिक्स का ऐसा था कि एग्जाम में मार्क्स लाना सीखना होता है और कुछ मुझे लगता नहीं है कि उसमें कुछ है primarily like you should know ki how you can score well and the key which I found to that was ki you should at least know what to study in the last week of your exam because what happens is a lot of time get wasted when in the last moment you realize कि तुम्हारे पास तुमको पता भी नहीं कि तुम्हें पढ़ना ही है तो इट्स लाइक कि ना तो तुम्हारे पास नोट्स है तो फिर उस पॉइंट पे तुम घूम रहे हो कि भाई कोई मुझे नोट्स दे दे कोई मुझे पेपर दे दे तुम ग्रुप में ढूंढ रहे हो कुछ हो जाए सो माय फंडा वाज क्लियर व्हाट आई यूज्ड टू डू इज कि uh, अब like around 10 days or 1 week before exam class test वगैरह होते हैं तो during that time I used to study कि class test के लिए पढ़ लो तो mid sem के लिए हो जाएगा and then class test के लिए पढ़ लो तो end sem के लिए हो जाएगा and I used to
Hmm.
gather all the material during that time जब class test हो रहे होते हैं कि हाँ अगर मैं क्लास नहीं भी जा रहा हूँ तो मैं नोट्स जुगाड़ लूंगा या कौन से बुक से पढ़ना है वो जुगाड़ लूंगा ताकि एट द लास्ट मोमेंट आई एम नॉट सर्चिंग फॉर दैट कि क्या पढ़ना है सो दैट हेल्प मी अलॉट कि हाँ भाई एक हफ्ते पहले यू हैव एवरीथिंग रेडी कि क्या पढ़ना है एंड देन यू जस्ट हैव टू स्टडी एंड गो टू द एग्जाम एंड डू थिंग्स वो रात में जितना पढ़ोगे वो तो है ही वो तो एक रात पहले ही होता है जो होता है वो तो है ही बट yeah still that is there but there are some of the classes which I actually enjoyed as well like during my stay I was in industrial so initially I was in civil engineering I did a DEPSI into Indu and then in Indo particularly like I enjoyed the subjects as well जो भी था वो थोड़ा statistics related था तो it actually helped me in the machine learning वाला part as well तो क्योंकि वहाँ पर काफी statistics oriented course work है in industrial department so वो base knowledge helps you in when you want to do data analytics or when you want to do machine learning और बाकी I used to take additional courses as well from CS department or maths department और like sometimes विनोद गुप्ता स्कूल ऑफ मैनेजमेंट तो वहाँ से कुछ एडिशनल कोर्सेज जो मुझे इंटरेस्टिंग लगते थे वो मैं ले भी लेता था ताकि आई गेट अनदर एक्सपोजर ऑफ लाइक व्हाट काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स आर हैपनिंग इन अदर एरियाज तो वो हो जाता था इंटर्नशिप्स तो यार तो इंटर्नशिप्स वाज लाइक सेकंड ईयर में आई डिड वन इन बॉम्बे इट वाज इन अ स्टार्टअप तब मैंने एक कोर्स ही किया था बस मतलब लाइक आई जस्ट डिड अ कोर्स ऑन मशीन लर्निंग और उस समय like I got that internship. One of my friends was going, and I first planned to like stay in the campus and do some sort of project, but उस समय फिर ऐसा हुआ कि I got this internship, so I went to Mumbai. It was a nice experience there. In my third year, I went to Finland. That was also in a startup called Silo AI. For that I interviewed. So there were, so always, you know, like you will find it from your seniors. So I found a senior who actually went there, and I just asked him that kaise kiya aapne, and how did you actually go there. So what happened was he just referred, and then I also sent them my resume and email them that why I am interested, and I got an interview, and then interview ke baad they called us. So that is there. देन फोर्थ ईयर वाला तो सीडीसी से ही लगा था। और उसके बाद तो आई गेस बाकी वही है एकेडमिक्स में। आई जस्ट सजेस्ट कि डोंट गिव इट अप पूरा का पूरा, जस्ट लाइक हैव अ grasp on it. 8.5 CGPA is also very decent. Like it's not something, if you're, it's important, like let's say if you're not planning to go into higher education, right, then it might not really matter as well for you. But if you want to do any sort of higher education like masters or MBA, actually those people look at your academic scores. So like in your, if you're even doing a MBA from India, they see like their marks for academic score. If you're doing it abroad, it makes your essay strong, like when you want to do. So if you're actually into higher education, I'll say focus a little bit more on CG. If you think कि higher education उतना नहीं करना है, then try to maintain it at a decent level कि 8.5 types, ताकि companies वगैरह खुल जाए आपके लिए. You don't miss out on opportunities. I'm not saying कि उससे कम होगा तो generally opportunity नहीं मिलेगी. There are a lot of opportunities for people, but you should not miss out on what you can get easily. So I'll suggest keep working थोड़ा सा academics पे भी keep a focus. उतना नहीं पढ़ना पड़ता है but right time पे पढ़ना पड़ता है. So just make sure that you divide your time वैसे ही कि you know when to study, you know when to have fun. So you will get through it.
Yeah, that was quite an advice, David. I think that's much needed for the KGP audience. क्योंकि कुछ लोग बहुत greedy में रहते हैं कि पढ़ना है कब कैसे करना है. So I think this is quite a good roadmap कि it's not what to study, it's when to study. But I think we shouldn't promote this. I think we should get started quite right before time so that you have enough time to cover your syllabus. But thank you so much for that.
See, like you should know what to study. That's what my mantra was, that only. You should know what to study. पढ़ लोगे, अगर तुम्हें यही नहीं, अगर एग्जाम के जस्ट एक दिन पहले तुम यही पूछ रहे हो कि पढ़ना क्या है, तो फिर नहीं हो पाएगा ना. मतलब that is not something which will happen. तो वो बस avoid करोगे तो then I think you will not be in a very bad position. ना problem नहीं होता है.
Alright. Okay. Prerit, like given your strong technical background and academic focus, like coupled with your passion for technology, you also had joined Swarm Technologies at IIT Kharagpur as an embedded team member. So generally, what I see, since I'm currently also in GYWS, what I see is that people who are a little bent towards technology, they find it a little difficult to give back to the society. I don't know if it's a trend or something is up with it, but we want to know what motivated you to remain actively involved in GYWS throughout your time at IIT Kharagpur. And this question is especially for my juniors. Please इस आंसर को ध्यान से देखिएगा. What Prerit says. Yes,
yeah, what I feel, right, कि it actually comes from within. What I mentioned earlier as well, I never saw it as work. I always saw it as opportunity, that I am getting this opportunity to be a executive team member of big organization where I can learn work ethics, where I can learn how to do different things, where I can learn how to get things done. Secondly, like when I took on to the leadership positions, there I started like, bringing in new initiatives, and also like uh, trying to understand and structure everything so that it can be better for people who will be coming after me, because those are the things like I always saw it as an opportunity to do something new, do something creative, do something which like always like which is something which you might be proud of in the future, कि हाँ ये मैंने किया है, and I actually felt very good about it, कि हाँ this is something I did. वो तो रहेगा ही. Apart from that, you can always talk about it in your resume, in your interviews. When you do things, you get a lot of points to talk, कि क्या बोलना है. अगर तुम काम कुछ नहीं कर रहे हो, तुम बैठ के टीवी सीरीज देखे जा रहे हो, तो फिर तुम्हारे पास ज्यादा कुछ बोलने को रहेगा नहीं. बट have if you have done things, अगर तुम मतलब तुम सिंपल मान लो वेब डिजाइन टीम में ही हो और तुम अपने थर्ड ईयर में जाकर के एक वेबसाइट भी बना देते हो किसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का, तो दैट इज ऑल्सो अ वेरी बिग थिंग. लाइक पीपल building the whole website for a big organization, that's an important thing for digital presence is something which is very important. तो वो आप बता सकते हो किसी को कि yes I worked and I did this. You can be proud of yourself as well. So what motivated me is कि I always saw that as an opportunity. I never saw it as कि मेरे को ये क्या additional काम करना पड़ेगा. That was never my way of thinking. तो और टेक्नोलॉजी वाला क्वेश्चन थोड़ा समझ नहीं आया मुझे, बट ठीक है, आई ट्राई टू आंसर दैट एज वेल. यस, फॉर्म में तो आई जस्ट वाज देयर फॉर अ कपल ऑफ इयर्स. उसके बाद आई डिडंट डू दैट because then I went into data analytics and AI. So I wanted to be pick one technology wala field and then do that into that. So initially it was robotics in my first year, but when I get into Indo and I saw the curriculum, I thought कि data analytics and machine learning and these kind of things might align better. तो मैं उस तरफ move कर गया. Then like it's important to so there are different sections of your life in KGP. So one is like your academic life, one is your life in like where you want to do learn something. You always keep on learning something on yourself as well, right? सिर्फ academics तो कभी नहीं करता है कोई भी. तो pick up one professional field where you want to do and grow and want to do internships. मतलब वो market को भी assess करो कि कहाँ पे तुम्हें opportunities मिल सकती हैं. तो अभी अगर data analytics या AI में ज़्यादा opportunities है, you can work on that. If you feel startups में digital marketing का ज़्यादा है, so you can work on that. So there are a lot of things you can work on. But माय पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू बस कि एक मेरा एकेडमिक जर्नी है, एक मेरा प्रोफेशनल जर्नी है कि हाँ मुझे इसमें कैसे जाना है, और एक चीज थी जिसमें मुझे मजा आता था और जो मुझे करना था, और that was something which GYWS was for me, and it also gave me another perspective always कि आप मतलब जैसे I'll give you a simple example. Let's say like in my fifth year, like when I was doing this thing. So fifth year, so Light was a program which actually started around when I was in my second year. So one of our seniors started it. His vision was कि we can actually replicate whatever we are doing here. ठीक है. Then he did it for a year or so, and then he left it क्योंकि फिर उनका वो आ गया CDC वगैरह placements and everything. उसके बाद वो एक दो साल इनिशिएटिव चला, but it didn't really grew a lot particularly. Uh, तो व्हेन आई गॉट इनटू इट ना, जब फिफ्थ ईयर में आई गॉट इनटू इट, मेरा बहुत ही सिंपल ऑब्जेक्टिव था कि फर्स्ट आई अंडरस्टैंड कि क्या क्या हुआ 2 साल में, ऐसा क्यों नहीं कर पाए हम लोग, बिकॉज वी ऑल आर पीपल हु आर स्मार्ट इनफ टू डू थिंग्स कि कुछ हम करना चाहेंगे तो हम कर लेंगे, बट क्यों नहीं हो पाया. सो आई जस्ट गॉट इनटू इट, देन आई like studied a lot of different frameworks in management field. I tried to implement those things firsthand in building the team, in building the structure of how we should replicate this model, what we want to replicate, what is the vision. So all I got into a lot of entrepreneurial thinking कि कैसे इस इनिशिएटिव को डिजाइन कर सकते हैं, कैसे इस टीम को बड़ा कर सकते हैं, कैसे और लोगों को व्हाट आई एम थिंकिंग उससे मैं जोड़ सकता हूँ. सो if I wouldn't have been in GYWS, I wouldn't have got those kind of exposure कि भाई ये सब चीज करनी है क्या या कैसे करनी है. If I would have confined myself to just my academics, I wouldn't get that perspective, right? कि there are something else also which can be done. So the whole 4 year of combined working in GYWS actually resulted into the 5th year where I actually did all these things. तो बहुत ज़्यादा मतलब for me all these aspects were different aspects for me. It was never like कि एक चीज कर दी तो दूसरी छोड़ दो या दूसरी कर दी तो तीसरी छोड़ दो. So that helped me a lot. What I felt is कि GYWS actually gave me a lot of opportunities to grow as a person, to grow, uh, to basically uh, improve my personality, particularly because जब आप senior हो जाते हो तो then you also have juniors who look up to you. So then you have to at least maintain a level of professionalism. You may have to maintain a level of intellect, a level of understanding towards your junior, how to get work done. तो वो सारी चीजों से you also start improving yourself कि हाँ इतने सारे लोग मुझे देख रहे हैं. तो that also helped me a lot. So I think simply saying, just see it as an opportunity to do something extra, do something new, do something जो कि तुम्हें शायद बाद में वो अपॉर्चुनिटी ना मिले, क्योंकि तुम जब यहाँ से निकलोगे यू विल गेट इनटू अ जॉब, यू विल बी अ पार्ट ऑफ अ टीम, और इन अ मेगा स्ट्रक्चर कॉर्पोरेट वो टीम is a very small unit. But in KGP, you are in charge of the whole team, your whole organization. तो वो अपॉर्चुनिटी को मिस आउट मत करो. बी इट इन एनी सोसाइटी guys, it's not really कि GYWS में रहना चाहिए तुम्हें. I'll not say that, but I got it from GYWS. You can get it from somewhere else, but you can invest your time somewhere like where you actually grow as a person as well.
Exactly. So you have worked in different positions at GYWS. You must have worked on different ideas or initiatives. So please, could you highlight ideas or initiatives from your time at GYWS that you believe that was a lasting impact?
Hmm. Okay, so we worked on a lot of things, like particularly like I think what I did was my contribution was primarily towards structuring things in GYWS. I'm not sure कितना वो अभी follow हो रहा है, but what I did was that I structured a lot of things कि team कैसे structure होनी चाहिए, and how to work, how to maintain communication across. जब team size बड़ी हो जाती है तो then you have to keep a level of system. You have to build a system so that everybody in the same page, everybody can learn, and everybody can grow as well as doing things for the society. So primarily like I felt my contribution was in structuring things, in structuring teams, in making sure that having how we can create a multi-layered hierarchy as well, but in the same time keep it fresh for having ideas from the bottom as well. Initiatives के terms में I did a couple of initiatives. One was I actually, I did a live project. I actually invited around 7-8 folks from IIT Delhi for 7-8 days. उनका कुछ program होता है, तो IEP करके कुछ program होता था. For that, they came to IIT KGP. They did a survey and in the nearby areas, and they kind of generated a report on like what kind of initiatives can be done in the future. That report then in further we basically used in order to do some sort of initiatives. Secondly, I guess in light a lot of contributions, particularly in terms of the structure, in terms of hierarchy, in terms of how what a center means, what a what basically GYWS is, what light is, how both things are different, and all these definitions, right? Crude definitions. How the vision of light, what is the vision of light? What is the vision of GYWS? So those vision statements, not just so I actually wrote those vision statements particularly. So not just writing those vision statements, but also instilling it in the team, in the day-to-day work. कि like बेसिकली एक आइडिया तुम एज अ पर्सन सोचते हो एंड यू ट्राई टू राइट इट डाउन, बट if you are not able to get it resonated amongst your team, then that idea will just remain with you. So I put a lot of emphasis on that as well कि जो vision statement है उसको सब समझें, whoever is in the organization, even from the junior executive members to like the GB members, everybody should understand what the vision is. They should take steps in that direction. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि अलग-अलग direction में सब steps ले रहे हैं. Those kind of things I guess I worked on particularly during my time in GYWS. Um, बहुत सारे डॉक्यूमेंट लिखे और बहुत सारे लोगों को ज्ञान दिया, वो सब तो वही वही सब होता है. एंड देन यू डू थिंग्स, यू मोटिवेट पीपल, दे आल्सो मोटिवेट अदर पीपल, इट बिकम्स अ चेन, राइट? सो that's something which we did, I guess. In our team there was, so always it's also about the team, you know, like the team I was working with was also very great. So people were motivated, and they also wanted to do things. So if you are the only person standing, you will never be like कि तुम्हारा motivation खत्म हो जाएगा after a certain point. But the team members which I had, like name, if I name people, it's there was Hate is one of my best friends right now as well. And then Aniket. Aniket is my roommate right now. So we primarily, you know, like did we have had a vision. We tried to implement that. We all motivated each other as well. तो काफी कुछ स्ट्रक्चरल चेंजेस किए हमने प्राइमरीली, एंड आई थिंक कि इट वाज पिवोटल टू ग्रो द टीम साइज. जब हम आए थे तो वी वर लाइक अ टीम ऑफ 20-30 पीपल, एंड वी grew it to 100-120, and I don't know, like right now थोड़ा और ज्यादा ही होगा. So those things actually I think helped uh, me as a person also, or GYWS also. So वो चीज थी, I guess, if I mention what work I did.
That was really nice to hear, David. Like hearing all that you have done in like the 5 years of GYWS, and for all the uh, juniors watching this, I think this is kind a great motivation for you. Like what exactly you should be looking forward to in a society, be it any society, not really GYWS, but any society. You should look forward to
Yeah,
building initiatives, taking being the pioneers of new initiatives rather than just following footsteps. Thank you,
exactly.
Prerit.
Yeah.
We can move on to the next question. Now this is the fun question. So we all know that we work at GYWS, and then there is the fun side of GYWS or any society in general. So I'm sure there might be some moments which might have become, memorable for you for your entire lives. So can you please like highlight any one such moment or any like such event at GYWS that's still with you and makes you smile even today?
Mm. Yeah, I guess like I think one thing, it's always best, you know, like when you actually go ahead and go to the school and see the children
Yes.
and you play with them and you celebrate things with them. Those are the moments which actually, motivates you while you're sitting at your room and working on your computer, because uh, those faces, like it's actually, you know, it seems ki thoda uh, ज्ञान है, but it actually helps. As human, you also wanna go and see like what kind of impact you are making. So I always used to go on the flag hosting functions in Jagriti Vidya Mandir, and those were some of the moments, I guess, like were really memorable for me. Apart from that, we also uh, go we did go on grand trips, like it used to
Yes.
happen every year, so that also uh, is very fun. Like, we used to do a lot of stuff there. We used to play, we used to share horror stories, and then there are a lot of other things which happens, you guys know. So it's great feeling having fun with the team as
Fine. Uh, yeah, that was quite a description, Prerit. Thank you so much. So we can move on to the
So,
next. Yeah, Ananya.
so seeing the challenges faced by the underprivileged children and contributing to their education had a profound impact on my perspective on life. Did your experiences with GYWS similarly alter your views? And what's your professional gain on this?
okay. um, I think, yeah. So I already mentioned that, perspective changes a lot. Like, when you work in with so many people on a vision, your perspective definitely changes. That like, it actually gives you a feeling that you are pretty privileged, and in some way or the other, you should try giving back. Maybe, like, if you can't do anything physically, you should maybe donate some things. You should donate. If you're able to donate your time, that's definitely, great. But if you're not able to donate your time, you can donate money as well. So I always try to do at least something every year. Here as well in Bangalore, I try to go and give back during my birthdays generally. Uh, uh, about perspective and professional gains, I guess I already talked about. What I think I have, what edge I have particularly, uh, than my peers who haven't, like, worked particularly on big initiatives, or who haven't led big initiatives, is kind of the problem solving skills I gained during my tenure, because I did a lot of problem solving firsthand. It's not something which comes to you like just sitting around and then one day you decide that you want to be a problem solver. You actually want to go see problems, solve them, do things at the ground, and then you become a problem solver particularly. So I think I got a lot of clarity in the way I think, and that helped me being a good problem solver particularly. And that's something which I guess also drove my entrepreneurial instincts. So kind of GYWS are the initiatives which I took. Those are the things like which kind of motivated me to join a startup. And like, I actually wanted to do something of my own, but I didn't want to do just out of college, because I knew I have to gain a little bit of experience in the corporate world as well. So I just positioned myself at a place where I saw a company growing from the very start. तो वहां पर जो प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग करनी है, when you go into a new venture, it's very similar to when you are doing a new program. So like, it's very parallel. So whatever you do in GYWS, designing an initiative, executing
Mm.
an initiative, writing a document, very parallel to it would be new initiatives when you go into a different organization. तो वो चीज़ काफ़ी हेल्प करती है, लाइक इन टर्म्स ऑफ गेटिंग दैट क्लैरिटी. और आई बिकेम वेरी गुड इन डॉक्यूमेंटेशन, बहुत ज़्यादा, एंड प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग. दोज आर द फ्यू, एंड कम्युनिकेशन. दीज थिंग्स all are soft skills. These are not hard skills which you can prove कि हाँ ये better हो गया है, but you just feel it uh, as you do it. So those are the professional gains I'd say I had uh, through the engagement there.
All right. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
that's really impactful. Now,
Yeah, Nanya, go ahead.
yeah, Shivam, go ahead.
Okay, okay. So, all right. So, Prerit, that was something that we all wanted to know. What exactly we get? Like, when as I've seen like selections for like now for fourth year now for 4 consecutive years now. I think there's one very good question that you've answered, that all of them come and ask, what do we get in return? And
Hmm.
like, since it's an NGO, so like they kind of argue ki, the kind of work we'll be doing here might not really be resonating with with our higher purpose, with our corporate dreams. But I think what you have
Hmm.
elaborated will now be in resonance with their their desires, their beliefs. So thank you for that.
See, my
Prerit, the
point
next
of view
question.
is,
Yeah,
Shivam,
yes,
I'll
Prerit.
add just one point to it.
Yes, yes.
When people ask, right, like, कि क्या मिलेगा in the
Ji.
end of it, right? Generally, like, जब आप शुरू से ही सोच के ही चालू करोगे ना कि क्या मिलेगा, तो शायद आपको कुछ नहीं मिलेगा। मतलब द पॉइंट इज़ कि यू हैव टू गिव इनटू दैट टास्क। आप बोलोगे कि मैं सीधा प्रॉब्लम सॉल्वर बन जाऊँ और मैं आके सीधा नया इनिशिएटिव चालू कर दूँ। So you have to be mature enough to understand कि वो होगा नहीं. You have to first be the part of the execution team, get a sense of the things, get, like, uh, particularly acquainted to how to do things by your own hand before actually going on and solving bigger problems. So, people who shy away from doing execution, I don't think they can be very good leaders in the future. So particularly my suggestion is कि कोई भी काम छोटा या बड़ा नहीं होता है, and when you do something you actually get something out of it. Now it's your point of view कि अगर आपको यहाँ पे नहीं देना है, आप you don't want to do things at A, you want to do things at B. Like for example, तुम्हें इसमें नहीं टाइम डालना है, उसमें डालना है. That is also okay. That is your personal decision. But never shy away from doing things because you feel it is something which will not add value, and just sit idle कि ये तो value add नहीं कर रहा है तो मैं बैठ जाता हूँ. Anything you do adds value, adds to your perspective, adds to your experience, and eventually, like, when you will be at a position to bring change, तब तुम्हें लगेगा कि yes, whatever you did actually helped out. In these kind of things always, will be you will see the benefits in the hindsight when you have gone through all these things, and then you look back, then you will feel कि हाँ यार वो जो किया था that actually helped. वो उस समय करते समय कभी feel नहीं आएगा. तो
Correct.
whoever are the people who ask these questions, right, they have to understand this कि uh, like whatever you do, it will always have a positive impact in terms of if you're doing something productive. I'm not saying कि यार तुम नशे ही कर रहे हो तो उससे कुछ productive निकल रहा है. I am just saying if you're doing something productive, at the end of the day, when you will watch those activities in the hindsight, it will always feel like that it added significant value to, like whatever you are as a person at this point in time, and whatever you are doing, उसमें भी help कुछ ना कुछ तरीके से वो करेगा ही.
Thank you for that golden advice.
So moving forward, EdTech has been a buzz in India for the last half of a decade. Some buzz was there for unicorns and some for the failure of Byju's because of competition. Given the growing number of EdTech companies today, how does Wiingy evolution of the EdTech with the advancement lies?
Uh, there's a little
Mm,
bit of fumbling with the question, I guess.
yeah,
Basically,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah. I'll just reiterate the last few lines. Basically, given the growing number of edtech companies today, and we see that there's a lot of competition, how does Wingy differentiate itself from the competition? And also, we would like to have your views in the evolution of edtech with the advancement of AI coming into the picture. Yes, Peter.
Yeah. So, uh, okay, I'll answer it. It's a two-part question, so I'll answer it as so I'll answer the first part first. कि बहुत सारी edtech company and it's a crowded space at this point in time. How are we differentiating particularly? See, it's a crowded place. It became a crowded space. It was not a crowded space before COVID. It became a crowded space during COVID because a lot of companies got big. So these companies which you see right now, right, which seems like large giants, like say it is Byju's or it is Vedantu or it's an academy. All these companies have been there for more than 7-8 years before COVID, and they were growing. They were growing. They were growing. But what COVID did, what COVID did was कि ऑफलाइन सब बंद हो गया एंड व्हेन ऑफलाइन सब कुछ बंद हो गया then these companies got this opportunity to grow multi-scale. उस समय they grew 10 times 15 times what they were. So if they were a $100 million if they were $100 million business, they became $1 billion business. So this kind of rapid growth, right, that motivated a lot of players to come into it. More than 200-300 companies got registered, startups in edtech space, primarily like be it like extracurricular activities, be it like just courses like Byju's or live tuition sessions, those kind of things. Everything started coming on. Doubt solving session, group classes, so different variations of it. All of it came together. So during the COVID times, the industry boomed a lot, I'd say. And when anything happens in such a huge pace, right, कि एक साथ ही 300-400 कंपनीज 500 कंपनीज हजारों कंपनीज बन गई, at that point in time there's a bubble which gets created because always उस समय ऐसा होगा कि लोगों को लग रहा है कि बहुत डिमांड है, इसीलिए बहुत ज्यादा सप्लाई बढ़ गई, बट एक्चुअली उतनी डिमांड नहीं थी. सो देयर वाज अ बबल व्हिच गॉट क्रिएटेड, and that bubble got created. It bursted with COVID. A lot of companies got shut down, particularly like a lot of companies faced a lot of downsides as well. So I'd say that uh, like when we started in 2021, that was the year I graduated as well. I joined right from the college at Wiingy. um, there was more than 100-200 companies which we saw as our competitors. We were doing a very different sort of business at that point in time. We used to sell courses on robotics for kids with kits. So it was like you can learn coding, you can learn some practical experience with the robot, with the automated cars and all those things. The things which you guys, I don't know if you did it, but first year में जो सिखाते हैं robotics वाले, similar kind of things we used to sell as a course. वैसी की वैसी around 150 to 200 companies which I know was there in that space. By the end of 2022, everything got closed. कुछ नहीं बचा. All the companies got shut down. The people we used to see as our competitors, all of that got shut down. We also was not in a very good condition after the end of first year. What happened was then we actually we it started to make sense that this is not the business. It doesn't have any sort of business particularly. So वहाँ पर CAC कहते हैं उसे, customer acquisition cost, which is the major problem in the edtech space. कि customer acquisition cost को कम कैसे किया जा सकता है, कैसे उसको, अगर आप कस्टमर एक्वायर कर सकते हो आप बाकी सारी चीजें खुद सॉल्व कर सकते हो इफ यू आर स्मार्ट इनफ, बट कस्टमर को एक्वायर करना ही सॉल्व नहीं हो पा रहा है बेसिकली. हो पा रहा था भी और अभी भी नहीं कर पा रहे हैं लोग काइंड ऑफ. तो उस वजह से बहुत सारी कंपनीज बंद हो गई. द इन्वेस्टर्स हु वर जस्ट इन्वेस्टिंग मनी बाय सीइंग द टॉप लाइन ऑफ द कंपनीज की इतना रेवेन्यू कर रहे हैं दे दो, नॉट रियली मैटर की प्रॉफिट कितना है उसमें से, मतलब people were burning money of investors itself. वो सीधा आ गए आफ्टर द बबल बर्स्ट कि आपका प्रॉफिट कितना है, आप वो बताओ, आप कितना पैसा बना रहे हो, बिकॉज इफ यू आर नॉट मेकिंग मनी तो बिजनेस होगा नहीं. तो वहां पर आंसर्स थे ही नहीं किसी के पास. Nobody had that answer because CAC was so much you were not even able to earn that much money from a customer जितना आप CAC पे कर रहे थे. तो हम लोगों ने भी उस समय like we closed down everything whatever we were doing. We pivoted at that point in time to a much saner and sustainable business, and that is the reason we are still here like at this point in time. So we got into a space, very interesting space of online tutoring and assignment help and project help. So primarily uh, initially we were preparing a course and selling it. Now what we started doing is कि किसी का अगर need है of private tutoring, they can reach out to us. We will provide a perfect match tutor to them. We moved out of the content part of it कि क्या पढ़ाएंगे. We just started matchmaking people कि for example you can say कि let's say you are a college student and you are stuck in some sort of project in Java, and you want help from an expert and who can help you with that project specifically, and you want a one-on-one help, you can reach out to us. We can connect you with such a person. Similarly, parents who are looking for young kids के लिए tuitions and everything, we can connect you with the right person. So all the problems. So basically, we changed one thing. Ki we moved out from the course business. We moved into the tutoring business, where everything was need based rather than generation of the need. Particularly, दूसरा जो हम लोगों ने change किया वो था market. So we moved out of the India market and we started uh, like building Wiingy as a brand in US and Canada and Australia, Europe. So primarily like those students and those I'd say customers are high paying customers. They kind of have that purchasing power as well, and they understand the importance of personalized tutoring as well. So that particularly like was the shift which we made. And right now, like we are one of the few companies in the edtech space which is profitable. We are at a smaller scale at this point in time, but we are profitable, and we are scaling in a bootstrap manner. We are not raising money at this point in time. We might do in the future, but primarily like we are running a bootstrap sustainable business, growing one step at a time, and we have grown kind of like in 3 years we have grown around, you can say, more than 100x, because initially तो बहुत कम होता है तो वो 100x दिखेगा, but yeah still like we are able to successfully do 0 to 1 for our business at this point in time, primarily due to the change in the market and some of the growth hacks which we have applied, which uh, gives us customers at a very reasonable cost. So those are the things which Wiingy stands out at particularly. So edtech space was crowded. Now a lot of things have been corrected, and now all the investors and all the CEOs, all the founders are also trying to make the business as sane as possible. दूसरा question था, I guess AI related, that how it is impacting the space particularly. It is definitely impacting the space. It is a technological shift, right? So it's like it's kind of a shift जब internet आया था. It's kind of a shift जब computers आए थे. So it is a paradigm shift, particularly AI. So the type so AI is not just like will be helping in business operations, improving your business operations. It will definitely help in uh, basically improving your business operations, but it will also disrupt problem solving. It will also disrupt the industry key, because a lot of personalized human interaction now AI can also do. So solving your doubts are very simple things that you can get done with AI. So now the whole thing is about ki how you can leverage this newly new. So LLMs वाला जो particularly revolution आया है अभी chat GPT and uh, primarily chat GPT से ही आया है, and that kind of have um, that is something which now business owners are like कि कैसे उसको integrate करें in the business in order to make our product more useful, more how we can add more value to the customers by using AI, by using automation, and that is something which is happening all over the place. We also are trying to do that, and I guess a lot of other players are also. So that's a good skill to have at the moment. Like if you are someone who wanna go into AI, uh, you can actually start building your basics and doing things that will help. Also, if you're not into AI, learn how to use AI, because that is something which will definitely be helpful, which will which you which will help you stand out from people who are not using it, and it will make your work so much faster. uh, you should use GPT, you should use Gemini, you should use n number of tools in the market right now, and try to get acquainted with that, try to see how it can help you in your day-to-day task, how it can help you learn things. Try to do that at a personal level as well, because it will definitely help you how acquainted you are with the tool. It will definitely earn you a place in the industry, as well as if you want to do something of your own, you should know how to use these kind of things in the future to build the business in a faster manner.
That's a very elaborate description of the entire
Thank you so
industry.
much,
And
Prerit, for sharing your insights.
बोर हुए क्या
नहीं
तुम?
नहीं
बहुत टाइम से बोल रहा हूँ मैं.
नहीं नहीं इट वाज मतलब जितना भी इंडस्ट्री का और आपने जो विंगी के बारे में बताया, आई थिंक इट वाज क्वाइट like elaborate ki what exactly Wiingy is doing, where it has positioned itself, and what's the AI scenario of India right now. I think coming from someone who has been into that field, I think it's something that we can rely upon क्योंकि यहाँ पे हर कोई डेटा कर रहा है, हर कोई AI कर रहा है. So we don't really understand ki what exactly the scenario is. So coming from an expert is invaluable for us. So
Yeah, I'd say like see if
yeah,
even if you're not doing AI ना, मतलब अगर टेक्नोलॉजी में
mhm,
नहीं भी हो, then also you should learn कि कैसे, मतलब not learn how to build those tools, but learn how to use that tools at least. So वो that is never going anywhere. It will definitely help you in your professional journey a lot.
exactly. All right. So coming to the final question, Prerit, I think this is just, I think, a cherry on the top of the cake. So you've gone through all that, all of what we are standing in. So you've gone through all the college life, you've gone through all the society life, you've gone through the academic life. So what's the one golden advice that you would like to give your juniors from KGP as well as from GYWS watching this? A piece of advice that you yourself follow as something that will benefit them all, not for only their college journey, but also for life ahead of that. Yes, Prerit.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess you should do a couple of things. One is you should enjoy whatever you're doing. Like that is very important, and you should surround yourself with kind of people you wanna be like, particularly, and college is a place where you can find those kind of people. Like uh, you will have a group which will last for a lot of time after your college. So try to have people whom you wanna be surrounded with in the future. Um, try to so particularly what I would suggest is like uh, one thing is वो चीज करो जिसमें मजा आ रहा है, और it will automatically start working out for you eventually. Like I'd tell you my example. You mentioned I did a lot of internships in artificial intelligence and all, but right now I am not in a technological kind of role. I am someone who is like kind of a journalist. I am kind of a business person, if you would say, like owning a particular business function, trying to problem solve, build teams, and things like that. Um, that decision, so that decision I took after 4 years of my journey. So 4 साल तक मैंने AI में काम किया है, and I actually kind of worked in a very technical elements of things as well, key projects and internships and everything. But at that point in time, I realized कि I was not enjoying what I'm doing. See, AI में बहुत पैसा है. It's not like कि maybe the peers who are still doing AI, they are earning 2 times, 3 times, 2 times, I guess, kind of 2 times तो कर ही रहे होंगे, because that is something which is at the moment relevant. Uh, but I I personally don't really compare myself with them, because I know what I am doing, I'm enjoying that. And that is why I'm able to put so much effort in it, because I am enjoying it. अगर मैं नहीं enjoy कर रहा होता उस चीज को, तो I wouldn't have been able to put that much effort. तो if you feel कि you are कोई particular चीज करने में तुम्हें मजा आ रहा है, try to see कि how you can do that for majority of your career, majority of your life, you know. अगर आपको teams में काम करने में मजा आता है, आपको leadership में मजा आता है, try to find roles जहाँ पर वो आप skill को use कर सको, ताकि आपको fun भी हो and you work also. um, No, one is that कि do what you enjoy a little bit. मतलब ऐसा मत करना कि just because कहीं पे पैसा है, because this is short term, you know. 10 years, 15 years down the line, it totally depends on कि what kind of decisions you will make just out of the college. फिर तुम कैसे उसको जी रहे हो actually. uh, I am working in a startup. अगर वो startup बहुत बड़ा हो गया, तो I'll earn multiple times what people are earning right now. So that is something which will, और अगर मैं नहीं भी किया, मतलब मान लो वो नहीं भी हुआ, but I'll know कि I've done something which I enjoyed. I've learned a lot of things. So now when I'll do it again, be it, let's say, for my own purpose, then maybe I'll get another opportunity to do some things, and maybe that time it will work. So work करे ना करे, I will learn a lot of things. I'll enjoy while learning a lot of things. बाकी तो भाई अब सबका अपना अपना फाइनेंशियल जर्नी भी होता है, सबका अपना अपना पर्सनल प्रेफरेंस भी होता है, तो यू कैन थिंक फ्रॉम दैट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू एज वेल. बट माय पीस ऑफ एडवाइस इज कि जो भी चूज कर रहे हो, जस्ट मेक श्योर कि यू एंजॉय दैट. कभी कभी नहीं पता होता है कि क्या एंजॉय करोगे, लाइक आई नो दैट एज वेल, कि मे बी यू डोंट नो व्हाट यू एंजॉय एट दिस पॉइंट इन टाइम. तो यू कीप ऑन ट्राइंग थिंग्स. मतलब डोंट सेटल ऑन समथिंग जहाँ पे एकदम मजा नहीं आ रहा है, तो वो चीज पे मत रुको. और वन मोर एडवाइस इज कि शुरू में अपने करियर के, लाइक व्हेन यू स्टिल हैव टाइम, ट्राई टू बी एट अ प्लेस जहाँ पे बहुत ज्यादा लर्न करो, रादर देन बीइंग एट अ प्लेस जहाँ पे स्टैग्नेंट हो जाए सब कुछ. मतलब ऐसी जगह पे मत काम करो जहाँ पर यू नो, लाइक यू नो कि एक ही टास्क है, उसको बार बार करना है. बिकॉज देन, लाइक अभी मतलब मुझे ऐसा लगता है, एंड आई फील इट पर्सनली, कि when you are just out of college, you are fresh, you have a lot of energy, you have a lot of free time as well, because you haven't married and stuff. तो वो 5-6 साल, 10 साल, 7-8 साल जितने भी तुम्हारे पास रहेंगे, that time will be something which you will be self on yourself. तो उस समय you can do a lot of things which you might not be able to do जब you will have family, you will have responsibilities, right? So I live by that only, and I am trying to put a lot of effort on like what I am doing, and I am enjoying it as well. तो वो चीज करोगे तो तुम्हें भी मजा आएगा और खुश रहोगे, I think. पता नहीं, बाकी तो everybody have their own definition of happiness, so that's there.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Prerit. Thank you so much for joining in and sharing valuable insights to our juniors, to anyone watching for that matter. And I think we'll always see this as a unique perspective towards like KGP or towards life. And I would advise anyone who is seeing this, please go through what Prerit is doing, go through what Wiingy is doing, and kindly follow him, see what he's doing in life. Because with what he's achieved and with what the advice that he's given, I think there's a lot that people have to take away from you, Prerit. And thank you so much once again.
Thanks to having me also, guys. Like I think I have spoken a lot. I don't know if you guys are bored or anything. That's I think अब मुझे बुलाया तो सुनना तो पड़ेगा ही तुम्हें तो that's not your choice now. But yeah, definitely it was fun talking to you. I hope it would be helpful to people who will watch